But is that a vision or a celestial voice? Wasn't quite clear to me the difference. Thank you very much for inviting me. I have not been to the Finger Lakes before, to my knowledge. By the way, our signer is terrific. And I noticed when Dr. Herrera got to any superlatives attached to me, she has a way of kind of like, you know, don't take it seriously. It's a wonderful expression.
She cannot sign my accent.
She cannot sign your accent. One thing I've discovered just in the few hours I've been here is that nobody seems to be able to agree on the exact number of lakes in the Finger Lakes. I've heard 6, I've heard 10, I've heard 11.
A couple hangnails.
Somebody said there's a thumb. Is there something going on? I am going to, at my request, talk about the experience I went through. I guess it's been about 9 months ago, almost to the day, tweeting around the time of my mother's death. I try pointedly to refer to her death, and I know people, and I appreciate this, often say passing, as Mr. President did, or sometimes people will say losing your mother, which I think is particularly unfortunate because it sounds as if we just brought her to Costco. Lost her in that big frozen foods room or something. Is not what happened at all. And a lot of this, I might have some problems getting through some sections of this. I apologize in advance. A lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight obviously touches on mortality, which is, I think, a very difficult thing for all of us to talk about. But what I prefer to say is not only do you get an animating sense of life from who my mother particularly was in that last week that we spent together, which I do consider as blessed an event as birth, the week that my mother and I spent with each other. But, you know, mortality, after all, that's what motivates us. The fact that we are not infinite characters, but we come with a shelf life of indeterminate value. That's what motivates us to strive, to create, to love, to be a part of something that's enduring. I suspect that's why we have children. And I think the experience that I was able to go through with my mother was, on the one hand, exceptional, as everyone is, but of course is also universal. I didn't begin to share some of the story of what became my last week with my mother because she was dying. I didn't know that at the time. I began to share it because what she said was so interesting and funny. Like a lot of media figures, I keep an active Twitter account. It's a platform for communication, which after all is my life. I try and post things that I've heard, that I've learned, that are funny, interesting, illuminating, or wise. Sometimes the source is people I interview, authors or politicians, actors. I interviewed Matthew Rhys, who was the fine Welsh actor who's in The Americans today, the series on FX. Entertainers and a lot of so-called ordinary citizens. I also quote my wife and children a lot because they are the smartest, most entertaining people that I know. And I hope